Top five.
Yeah, girl, you ready to do this? You ready to count this thing down? We're doing the top five, her. Yeah, let's set it off with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ranked Top 5 Lists of Stuff That Don't Matter. I'm your host, Tuong La, and welcome to the bakery, baby. Welcome to the Pod Cavern Bakery, where we have fresh... Oh, I can't even say the topic yet, even though you know it because you clicked on this episode. I have my fresh bakers in the back working and slaving away. Yes, they're slaving.
Oh my God.
I'm paying them less than minimum wage. They only make money on tips, and they don't tip well at this establishment. My first guest has not been in the pod cabin for a very long time, probably because I don't pay him enough, but really nice to see him. My first guest is Jesse, the Iceberg Bergen.
Tongue, please. You gotta let me use oven mitts.
No.
You gotta let me use oven mitts,
can't
man.
afford
My
it, buddy.
hands are scalded in the back.
Your name is Jesse Iceberg Bergen. I thought you could handle without...
I lied on my resume.
Oh, you don't have ice hands.
No, I have normal flesh hands.
That was not
But
part of the...
you know what? At
Yeah.
the end of the day, I'm happy to do this in order to bring all these fresh D-nuts out to those customers. And with me working in the back here is my companion in drudgery, Thomas Tolles.
You gotta let me use a baking tray. It's so annoying to pick them up individually. Just to have them all on one sheet would make things so much more efficient.
Thomas, ever since you've been hired, you've only been complaining, and I don't like this out of you. This is your first week on the job.
Oh, okay.
I vouched for you, man. Be cool.
You were not. You complained 1 second ago. And I'm here with my third very positive coworker, Kevin the Ramberran.
You know, I really do appreciate the fact that you have me here. It is a special thing that we do every day. One little sort of snafu is that I sort of have a bit of a problem. You see, the flour, it's everywhere. I go home, flour coming out of my pockets, out of my skin, out of my hair, out of my wallet, even, and endless amounts of this. My wife, she can't stand it.
That's
Is
a
there anything we
problem?
can do
That's
about
free
it?
flour you're bringing home.
I mean, when you put it like that,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's why
You
I'm...
got flour in your wallet? Sounds like you're enriched.
Thomas is trying to start a union.
I have not. I've just been having interesting conversations with my colleagues. I'm not trying to start anything.
He's trying to salt this bakery, which, as we know, is the wrong. We need sugar.
Sugar.
We need
Salt
sugar,
is-
guys.
It's actually a great flavor contrast with the sweet. Anyway.
Anyway.
Podcast listeners, if you're listening, go to Toronto, 9th Street, address 48. We're in the basement.
Help.
Help.
No, don't help them. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with my trusty colleagues, my trusty bakers here, because they can't wait to talk about D's nuts, and donuts mostly donuts, not D's nuts.
I was told this would be mostly about D nuts, but
Yeah, I made a list of my favorite D's nuts.
Yeah.
I think I might have misread the email. Sorry.
Thomas, just out of curiosity, what was your number one?
Number one D's nuts would be chickadee.
Ah,
So you'd say, like, look over there, there's some chickadees.
yeah, chickadees.
Chickadees nuts!
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
one.
good.
That's a solid to pick.
Did anybody else do with it? So my problem is I did sort of the five top five donuts like that you have to sit on when you have sort of hemorrhoids and rectal sort of problems.
Oh, that's all I chose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I are in the right podcast.
Yeah.
Is that good for that?
Yeah.
Is that a treatment? A known treatment?
Listen, man, I don't know. It's not.
I didn't
all
think
right?
of a
He's not.
second
No.
thing to
I
say.
didn't think of a
Don't-
second, but I don't have. Yeah, don't fucking push my.
That was a
joke
one
buttons,
sentence
all right?
idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, I came here with my top 5 donuts, and number 1 is in a Camaro in the 7-Eleven parking lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
My
you're
stepdad
getting
used to
a
pull those.
raise
Yeah.
soon. Not yet, but soon.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
soon is better than never.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. We're here to talk about food donuts today.
Yum,
That's
yum.
right. Food
Wow.
donuts. I have a definition of donuts. I also have a spelling of donuts. We're talking about DOUGH nut. You know?
God damn it.
I know.
This is an outrage, and already we're fighting.
We're already
I can't
fighting.
believe.
I know.
Ugh,
I know.
disgusting to
agree
spell
with
it that way.
Do we, curious to you guys, do you spell donuts DONUT most of the time? Or the
Yeah.
I'm
other?
lazy, so absolutely.
Colloquially, I even used
time.
to have donuts on the menu. I think I have mini donuts on the menu at one of my restaurants, and at both of my restaurants, in fact. And we spell it DONUT.
Oh.
I'll say my nickname for a time was Donuts, and I spelt it DONUTS. I gave myself the nickname. It was not given to me by a friend. Every
Well, sort of
nickname
given
I've
to me
ever
by
had
you.
has been
Or
Yes.
other way around. I sort of gave it to you.
So you could pick any nickname for yourself,
least
and you went
helped-
with
I at least-
donuts, huh?
At least helped secure the bag.
I think I asked you to start calling me Donuts in public
Yeah.
so other people would think it was my nickname.
Right.
And I chose it because it didn't suit me. But I love Donuts.
And the only person we tricked was our dear friend.
Yeah.
Just sort of, it didn't convince anyone else that except for the one other friend who just felt left out, which is fair.
What is there a difference? Does the spelling actually dictate a physical difference?
This is a great, thank you, Jesse, for leading me into this. I looked into this. Not really.
no problem, boss.
It wasn't a great question.
So
Probably not inconclusive.
not
that awesome
really.
of a
Okay, so the real answer is, I think, especially in North America, people spell donuts DONUT most of the times because we kind of got brainwashed from Dunkin' Donuts, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
That kind
Was
of went
Duncan
into
the one to make it the short form?
It sounds like it in my very cursory, look on
That's
Google.
awesome.
Austin is trying to take over.
It sounds
Boston
like
is
the
taking-
UK version, like with the extra letters that they'd add a few more.
So-
and then the North Americanized.
It's not just the UK. Apparently, the rest of the world
Wow.
usually would spell it DOUGHNUT. And
We're
that is
really the holdouts.
if we're the holdouts, and if we're looking at like the dictionary and what is the most, if you want it the most safe way to spell it, it is the OUGH way, which is very weird for me to like.
We're not here to be safe, guys.
No, we're not. We're going to choose dangerous donuts. Let me
Wait
give
till
you
see what I've got. Yeah.
let me give you a definition of a donut, because this is going to lead right into the ground rules of today. Google says there's two definitions. One, a small fried cake of sweetened dough, typically in the shape of a ball or ring. Here's another definition, kind of similar, but a little lengthier. A small cake of sweetened or sometimes unsweetened dough, fried in deep fat, typically shaped like a ring, or when prepared with a filling, a ball. Anything shaped like a thick ring or an annular object. That's it. Ends with
Is that like the
annular.
long one?
Annular.
Annular?
And that's a new one for me.
Yeah.
Annular.
It might be
My annular donut is once a year.
I call that long john. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody? Why the nut? I never really thought about that. That it's
Yeah, the
dough
nut
and then
is
nut. What is the
madness.
meaning
Absolute
of that part?
Is it a knot? Is it supposed to be like a knot of dough?
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's nut with a hard T. With a hard T.
It's a hard T. Okay.
What ground rules do we want to make for today's episode? I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but let's hear it anyways. Is there any ground rules that you'd be like, this is not a donut, or this can't be part of the conversation?
I kind of want to be surprised. I want to hear about something I never thought was a donut and just like
Well, one
push
of the
my
ground rules
chair
could be
back, eyes
surprised.
wide, and
Okay.
applaud that genius.
I'm going to be a hard ass, and I'm going to say no like pastries.
Well, yeah.
This means like stuff made with choux pastry. Like, I'm sorry, eclairs don't
Okay.
count.
Oh.
That's
I'm
fair.
going to say
That's fair
Danishes do not count either.
Those are,
Fair.
I think those are really great ground rules. I'd like to set one sort of just no racism.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Damn,
thank you.
dude.
I don't know
I
if we
wish
can do that.
I wish every podcast could set some ground rules on that. That's beautiful.
But no, I actually, real talk. I think there are. This does exist. Savory donuts exist. I think I'd like to veto the savory.
Yeah, but they're not going to
category.
win. Yeah.
Well, hey man, I had a taco dip donut the other day that was actually pretty
Yuck.
fucking. It was great.
I was going to say, I think if you can make an argument for it, then do so at your own risk.
Yeah.
It is your
If you
nomination.
want to throw away one of your three picks on
Yeah.
a taco donut, be my guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll win points
Yeah.
with Thomas because it's a little surprising. but
Yeah, I'm curious about size rules. I don't want to say too much, but can
okay.
we go from the very normal size to the smaller size
How
of donuts? Are
long
those
is the
allowed?
long Jonathan that we can use?
I think if you can make an argument, we should be okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not interested in size or shape, but rather like I'm more strict on like the type of dough.
I think I hear you on that. I think we know the distinction. They're very similar pastries, but they are not donuts. I
We
get it.
also did say in previously that we're not talking about like donuts from one specific place
Yes.
being great. Like you can't like just like laud one specific brand's version of one specific
Right,
thing.
and
We're talking more generally about
Yeah, these
what
are
type of donut.
exactly. You're gonna say
Yeah.
a type of
We're
donut.
not going to do product placement. We're not going to mention Tim Hortons. We're not going to mention Robin's Donuts. We're not going to mention Dunkin. We're not going to mention Krispy Kreme.
We're gonna have to beep
Yeah,
all of this.
yeah,
Right?
We're not going to
All
mention
this has to be
Bronuts. We're not going to mention O
Donuts
Donuts.
and it's called Donuts and Coffee now.
censored.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Lady Glaze.
almost
That's a local one here.
Ooh,
Ladies
nice.
Glaze.
Ladies
So-
Glaze.
That's what I
Okay.
call feminism.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wish we had said no feminism alongside no racism.
No,
but,
it's too late. It's too late.
So can I ask, because like this is kind of, I don't know, I feel like there's the classic donut list that we all know.
Mhm.
And then more recently there are these like luxury donuts that
Yeah.
cost $6 and you get it like one of the artisanal donut shops.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't think they need to be ruled out, but I do feel like there's a distinction there of like the core donut styles versus the
Yes.
more
Yeah,
experimental.
I would agree with this.
I was gonna say
It's sort of a
yes.
class issue if you think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
That's- well, here's
It
the
actually
thing.
kind of is.
If you nominate, because I've been thinking about this too, because Lady Glaze, they make a bunch of fancy ass donuts here, but I don't think they taste very good, but they have a lot of shit on them. The presentation's really good, but then you have
Sure.
a bunch of chocolate, a bunch of like whatever on it, and it's it's a lot,
They've got,
right?
like half a Kit Kat sticking out of the middle
Yeah,
of it or
that's-
something.
Yeah, and I think like you can nominate that, absolutely. I don't want to rule that out, but like when you're comparing it to some of these classic donuts that we all know, it's hard to
Yeah.
make that comparison because now
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah.
okay, I'm just
Right.
imagining a bunch of chocolate on a donut, but I've never actually tasted it.
And
So-
just to
Yeah.
be clear, Tung, whereabouts are you located? I just want to know so that geographically we're like what donut shops are we talking about? Like, are you in Canada?
I'm in Canada, Ontario.
Yeah, okay, so Tim Hortons is like a baseline brand is something that we're all like familiar with. Just checking in.
yeah,
I am in Chicago, but I lived in Winnipeg
You
most of my
spent
life.
your-
I can do the Canadian donut circuit. Not that there's
I'm
a
not.
big
I'm not saying
difference.
that's what we have to look at specifically. I just want to know, like, you know, what are sort of. I assume that regionally there are certain basic donuts that are different in different areas of the country.
But I am getting kind of grumpy
sure.
about the luxury donuts lately. Like I like them. I'll go out of my way sometimes to get them, but it feels
Yeah.
like the donut used to be just a working class, get your donut,
Yeah.
get your coffee, 10 cents. It was like this nice little breakfast treat. And now it's become this insane, like who can do more
I know.
kind of
It's too much.
fancy pastry. Yeah.
It's too much.
Agreed.
Last question. Are donuts mainly a breakfast food?
I never thought of them as a breakfast food at all.
But when
be
else
honest.
would you have a donut?
A snack?
A snack? Like
It-
in the
like-
afternoon? Like
Yeah, like
a
after
pastry,
lunch,
right? Like,
or
it is a
lunch or after
pastry.
lunch.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
could see it either way, but I do tend to eat them in the morning. It's kind of nice to have a donut with coffee.
Yeah, that's
maybe
where I'm
like a
at.
coffee donut banana is like a
I had
nice
6
little
donuts this morning
breakfast.
for breakfast.
Okay,
Whoa.
watch. You're ready for this episode.
I can actually
Is that
vouch
true?
for that. I think he did.
I will
did.
say, usually on these types of episodes, like a food episode of this show, like specifically this one, even like donuts.
Yeah.
If we were all lived in the same geographical location, I would have asked you all to bring donuts to the table, and we would have been eating them live on the show.
That's
I
awesome.
have
Would've
I have
been
more
good.
donuts upstairs. If you
Yeah,
want.
can you ship them over to me? We can try them
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell a short, funny story about donuts? Because I also had a bunch of donuts this week.
Yes, please.
It was my birthday, and Stan's Donuts in Chicago will give you a 6-pack of donuts for free on your birthday. So we got that. It was great.
Whoa.
It's like a $20 value. It was really good. You can even get some of the luxury styles. And
cares if they
we
support
got
the
that. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What was that?
Okay.
I said, who cares if they support the cops? Anyway, go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
going to be my final point of order, but we'll get back to that.
Right. Yeah,
go ahead.
both of you have been told that they're an evil company. Well, I didn't give them any money. I just got free donuts, so I didn't support them.
In a way, that's sort of great. Anyway, carry on.
So there were some donuts, and Kim and I went to see a movie, and we were like, let's pack a couple donuts in Ziploc bags,
Right.
and we'll take them out. We'll eat them later tonight. And so we packed these 2 donuts, and one of them was a red velvet donut. And then at my birthday that evening, someone else weirdly gifted me more donuts. They were like, we thought you liked donuts because you're Tom.
Because
it's your nickname.
Donuts."
Is your note?
Yeah. So we had a bunch of donuts. We were giving them out, and there was someone at the party who was like, I don't really like donuts. I have really specific tastes. There's only one kind of donut that I actually like. And we were like, okay, what is it? And she said, a red velvet donut. And so we had this box of gifted donuts that was visible to everyone. And then the secret in the purse, red velvet donut that she didn't know about. And I was like, you are not going to believe this. But in my girlfriend's purse, there is the exact one donut that you actually want. We have it. You can have it right now. And we took it out, and it was the most fucked up looking donut. Something had happened to it in travel. It had been like mashed into a paste. It looked unrecognizable. The other donut in the purse, fine. But this one, I was so proud to bring it out, and it just looked like complete shit. It was very funny.
I love that.
I love that. That's great.
That's amazing. One last point before we get into this. You made me think of something here. Donuts that I feel like when you get a donut, you basically have to eat it right away or the same day at most, because there's a lot of local donut shops around here that have really nice donuts, but like the day after, they're all shit. They're all like stale, and it's especially the ones that are like filled with a bunch of random stuff. It's it's no
donuts
good.
don't ever fucking last more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what? This box of 6, it lasted us a couple days. We sort of spread it out. They were still pretty good.
Okay.
No fridge.
No fridge.
Stayed pretty fresh in the box. It was a nicely sealed little box.
Shout out to Sam's Donuts.
All right,
Anyway.
let's get into it.
All right, I got one more point of order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a donut episode. I'm going to say it. ACAB, abolish the police. All right,
Yeah.
carry on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I see.
Just like every episode of Ranked, we're going to go around 3 times, nominating 3 nominations, each making a master list of 12 and whittling that down to a top 5 donuts list. Here we go. My first nomination, possibly contentious. We'll see. I'm curious if you think it's a donut. I think it's a donut. But I want to come out swinging.
I'm really
with...
excited to hear this.
Well,
I think it might also be my number 1.
Oh, I think I know what this
I might be hyping this up too much. I already am.
Dun, dun.
I like an apple fritter.
Yes.
I fucking love an apple fritter.
That was my number 1 pick. Too.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Crazy
Okay. So
motherfucker.
I was
Spoiler.
having a conversation with some people, and we're just talking about donuts. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this podcast soon. We're going to talk about donuts, blah, blah, blah. And I mentioned apple fritter, and 3 people were like, is apple fritter even a donut? And I'm like, yeah, it is. What are you talking
it's a
about?
donut.
And there was a
outta
whole
here.
freaking conversation. But I want to hear from you guys, the experts, my bakers, why it's a donut.
I mean,
Man, it's in the
just-
case with all the other ones,
Yeah.
man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a classic.
What do you
And it
say
has-
about
yeah, it has
wait. What do you say about a cookie or a maple pecan Danish? They're in the same.
Get out of here, man.
They're in the
That's
same
not
case.
no, but
they're in the
any-
same
Any
case.
side of the road donut shop is going to have 2 unique shapes.
Walk
that is the
into a
apple
Tim
fritter
Hortons.
and the bear claw. The apple fritter and the bear claw are unique donut shapes, but every donut shop has them. I will shout out
I've
Stan's
never
again. They
even
have an
seen a
incredible
bear
apple
claw
fritter
in my
And then
life.
3 of us put it as our number 1. It's already number 1 in the
Yeah,
ranking.
don't even
You cannot
try.
defeat
Apple
it.
fritter is not it's
This
called a fritter.
A fritter
That's a
is
subclass of a donut.
Subclass of a donut. That's how I would.
You're a subclass of a human if that's what you think.
I'll Google
what I'm
apple
proud
fritter
to
right
be.
now.
Yeah.
You said no racism. One. That was
You
one
called
the
me a subclass of a
rules.
human within the first 15 minutes.
Apple fritters are luscious deep fried donuts.
Yes.
I just Googled it. So
They are my lumpy boys, and I love them.
I am. Yes.
They're so
Finally,
good.
there's some lumpy
Here's the
boy
thing.
representation in the donut
I don't hate
shop.
an apple fritter, but there's about when you eat an apple fritter, if you're eating 10 in 10 bites, I'm gonna tell you 6 of those bites are gonna be satisfactory, and 4 of those bites are gonna have too much apple, not enough fritter, or the inverse solution.
This guy.
There's a finite
I don't
amount
feel
of
that way.
success that you get when you. I don't
I
even
don't feel
have
that
apple
way.
fritter on my fucking list. Okay.
Wow.
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 So,
Well,
I'm sorry.
and yet it's going to be number 1.
Hey, we're
because
gonna
of-
argue about it more later, but I love that fruity
Sorry.
taste
Yeah,
of
you
an
did-
apple fritter.
You did say the fighting happened in the second round.
did
Tongue
say
is
Let that
coming in
happen.
hot with
I
a
got
great
pissed.
pick.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's a great
Incredible
pick.
first pick.
thank you. Thank you.
I
It's a
love it. I
number
mean,
one
hey,
seed.
it's cinnamony, it's doughy, it's appley, it tastes great with a coffee.
So
the
freaking
crisp on the
It's great.
bottom of an apple fritter, like it's got a different texture. That crisp.
This
It's
conversation
like-
is pissing me off.
I know.
Also, just like it's a big donut. You get a
Yeah,
lot.
you
for
get
your
a lot
money.
of
That's
donut.
a couple meals worth of donut right there.
Yeah.
And you feel healthy because it has apple.
It's
in
an
the
apple.
name.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
healthy, eat a donut and feel healthy, eat a dick.
Didn't you have an apple pancake a few days ago?
Yeah. And it wasn't a fucking donut. I didn't
was
say,
it-
oh,
but was
this
it
is
good?
a donut. It was
was it good?
18
We
inches
have-
long.
11 more nominations. This cannot be the precedent. You have to relax. This is,
I'm just saying.
Save
he's a
that
hypocrite.
energy. I love it, Kevin. I love it. You're wrong
Kevin
about the
might
apple
hate-
fritter, but
Kevin may hate all donuts. We don't know.
we
yet.
don't know yet. Jesse, what's your first donut?
I mean apple fritter, but since I can't pick that, I'm gonna go with the honey cruller.
Ooh,
I
very
love a honey
good.
Ooh.
cruller. They're
Very
light.
good.
They're light. They're fluffy. You never feel like you ate too much,
Very
and they're super tasty and and they're a real
That's-
fun shape, like a big tractor wheel.
Yeah.
I
feel like-
I love a honey cruller.
Now, do you know that cruller means twisted
Uh-oh.
cake? That's the definition. I think it comes from the word krullen.
Interesting. And
That's
yet we talked about a red velvet donut, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about, and is that not also a type of cake? And yet
So true.
it brings them together.
Yes.
Well, I think a
I just
donut
think
is a
like the fritter, the cruller is like a unique donut. Like it's got a different vibe than the
Mhm.
rest of the fellas in there.
Don't you dare
It's-
compare the cruller to the fucking fritter, all right? The honey cruller is a perfect piece of machinery. It's a perfect piece of baking. It's a perfect piece of science. It's a perfect piece of literature. But I do not want to hear
not really
anybody
literature.
say those things.
Kind of lost
Or
me there,
science.
but I'm
I don't
with
want
you.
to hear anybody comparing it to something called the fritter. Like the fritter's like Barney Rubble, idiot in a fucking cartoon type
Yeah.
of donut.
The
honey
fritter has to
cruller-
run to
Yeah, the
work
cruller's
in its
the
car without
Jetsons.
wheels.
The
cruller's the
is
Jetsons.
the cruller is that sexy ass fox from fucking Robin Hood. Yeah,
Yeah, you mean Robin Hood, the fox?
yeah. Whatever he's called. I don't know.
You know that fox from Robin
mean-
Hood?
Who?
I'll also just like put forward like sheer elegance, like
Yeah.
the shape. It's just
It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it is. Also,
That's-
it's
that's my
amazing that
pick.
no other donuts are shaped like that, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't make any other
do
donuts.
any of us know how they do that? I don't.
No,
It's
no.
impossible.
Magic,
impossible.
I think.
And that
Magic,
it
I think.
contains just like pure fluffiness. It's got this like
Very light.
almost juicy quality when you bite into a
Yep,
cruller.
yep.
That's interesting.
Um,
I was gonna say it's very like airy, like you bite into it and it's like
Yeah.
kind of like
I-
kind of like a
I
puff.
would argue that
It's like you're eating an angel's heart.
the success
Exactly.
of Krispy Kreme donuts, as like, you know, Krispy Kreme as a brand has like
Yeah.
a certain flavor. They're like original glaze. It's a certain, but I think the success of Krispy Kreme as a brand is that their donuts, generally the texture emulates that of a cruller. I think that's why they're so like.
Also, the Krispy Kreme, everything is glazed. No matter what is on it, it's fully glazed plus the additional frosting, which
Yeah.
is we'll
Yeah.
get to.
We'll
But
get
We
to
can't
or
we
maybe
can't talk about brands. We
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely can't talk about brands.
That was another ground rule,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Is
Thomas.
Kevin
Thomas.
next?
Oh,
No,
it's
we go
Thomas.
Thomas. What do you
Great,
got, Thomas?
Great. So yeah, apple fritter was my number one. This is a little bit of a throwback to the UK where I really became enamored with this specific donut. I used to get it all the time at the Tuck Shop around the corner from where I lived there. And it's just
What is
a
the Tuck
classic, a jelly donut.
Yeah.
I love just that sugar
What kind of
on
jelly?
the outside,
What kind of
that
jelly?
jelly on the inside.
Let's get
There-
specific.
Is it
you know,
strawberry
that's
jelly?
funny because they all kind of taste the same to
Yeah,
me.
they
But
do.
when I think of a jelly donut, I do go a raspberry jelly.
Raspberry.
I think a
I
raspberry
think the
jelly.
standard is raspberry.
Yeah.
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 I think strawberry is a pretty common.
Both are
Strawberry
good.
is very
but
common.
it's
but I
so
think like
sweet.
are,
It's
think-
Are we
hard for me to
lumping
tell
in the
difference.
Jam Busters? Are we lumping in all the Jam Busters
I
in
kind
one
of think
pick?
so.
Yeah.
And are we talking powdered sugar on the outside?
So I did write powdered jelly donut, though I also am fond of the granulated sugar jelly.
Okay.
Either can
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
I
gonna
feel
take
like-
the nomination as powdered jelly donut.
Powdered jelly donut.
Powdered
I like it. I like that's a good pick.
Yeah, that is a good pick.
Yeah.
And it's a little off the beaten track, you know. It's not like standard, but it is also like kind of a classic. It's
Just-
almost
I
like
love
it's
it.
almost before the rise of like circular donuts. That is something that like I respect about Jesse's pick and I disrespect about everyone else's pick. Because Jesse is also evoking the whole
All right.
pick, the holy choices.
Just say what yours is. You don't have to
Yeah,
like give
go
a little
ahead, Kevin.
summary.
What's your
I
pick?
have one query though before I give it.
Yes.
Because like
Okay.
one of the donuts that I like, if the flavor I chose is like something you guys haven't tried, but it's sort of an iteration on the honey cruller,
Mhm.
is that like too close to Jesse's?
You can.
I think
I think
I'll save it. You
you
I'll
can
keep
pick
for
it.
another point.
You can pick it, Kevin.
Yeah.
The only thing is when you argue about it later, it might be a tight race between the two.
I see.
So-
I'm going to go a little out of pocket here with something that's like when I'm craving a very sweet, kind of more decadent donut, some of the closer to the side of luxury, though not always. Because I love a custard-filled donut. I love a Boston cream style donut, but not the Boston cream, my friends. No. The creme brulee donut.
Oh.
A donut where they creme brulee the topping. It's got the ability to be cracked a little bit on the top, and the inside
Wow,
is like
I've never
custard.
had this.
It is so fucking good that you need to try it at some point in your life. I feel bad that you haven't tried
A
it. It means I'm not
donut that you
doing
have to
well.
eat with a blowtorch.
Yeah, I like anything that sort of requires intense heat. to create
you can't eat it before 8 p.m. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
Kevin,
Yeah,
question
exactly.
for you.
answer for you.
How close to the Boston cream donut is it? I'm trying to like get a reference here.
I see. So essentially, it is the inside would be like a Boston cream. Your topping instead would be like the creme brulee topping that then gets blowtorched. So it is a custard-filled donut. But I would say the Boston cream is quite isolated on its own as a certain kind of specific. I would even go so far as to argue that the creme brulee's inside is maybe not the same custard. It might be like a more creme brulee.
I think it's a pretty different donut.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's
Yeah.
a luxury donut.
I can
moved
imagine
around.
it,
I moved
yeah.
around from. I have some kind of out of pocket picks, and I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
to-
I love that.
That was a
Size
very high society. Ooh la
Yeah,
la. It
yeah.
was quite
I'm
the
getting
pick.
fancy with it on you, motherfuckers.
Do you know Lady
Um,
Glaze? Anyways.
yeah. Yeah.
You're not a working man. You're the bourgeoisie.
I'm a gherkin
and
man.
you're- Yeah.
yeah.
You were-
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I
like, a pickle, right?
Yeah, like a pickle.
Let's go to round two. Round two of donuts. Oh my goodness. All right. My next donut. I think I just need to have this one in here for the conversation. Very boring, ordinary donut, but it is a classic for a reason. It is your glazed donut.
Yeah.
It's just your
Absolutely.
glazed donut.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's hard to be mad at a glazed donut.
That's,
Hard to be mad at
I was
donut.
struggling because, I do on these shows, I do love to, throw in some wild picks and get creative, but we're talking about best donuts. If I saw a glazed donut right there, I'd eat it. One of the first ones
Yeah.
I
Glazed
pick.
donut is maybe the easiest donut to eat while not feeling guilty.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
tastes like the idea of a donut.
Right.
It's like the platonic. It's like this is a
Yeah.
donut.
Yeah.
And that's great.
I kind of want to ask, I think these are different, but like this is distinct from the old-fashioned glaze or the sour cream glaze, which are similar, but a different
I see.
cake style to the I
Right.
assume
I mean,
you
the
mean like a
heat
crispy
versus
cream
cake.
glazed versus the old-fashioned
Because
kind of
old fashioned can be
different cake.
glazed
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
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 This is like the
I mean,
white dough.
Yeah.
We're talking
Kind of just
cake
sugar
versus
glaze,
yeast.
right?
Cake versus yeast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this is our first donut that we've nominated that actually has a hole because the other donuts don't have a hole in it.
Honey
cruller has a-
cruller
Oh,
is
honey
a ring.
cruller.
Does it, isn't it
but
like twisted?
It is.
Oh,
but
it's
it's
twisted.
in a
It's twisted
circle.
across-
But I see
Right,
what you mean.
yes,
It's
yeah.
it's not like a hole has been like punctured through.
Yes.
It's far too artful for that.
You could make your way through
Yes.
the future.
Let's move on. Jesse.
I'm gonna go with a little bit. Maybe you guys will think this is an abomination. Maybe
I'm
you'll
so
think
excited.
that I'm a Dr. Moreau type
Let's
figure.
go.
But I'm gonna go with my favorite thing to get when I'm at a Safeway. I'm gonna go with a cronut.
Ooh.
Now this is
Cronut.
like a croissant donut. It's like
Coming
a glazed
from the man
croissant.
who laid the ground rule that we could not have pastries. That's a bold choice.
Well, I would say it rhymes with donut.
That's huge, actually. I didn't think about that.
Good point,
that is
good
sort of
point.
monumental.
I think yes, I hear you, Kevin. And
Yeah,
yet,
no, I mean, I don't.
I
Think,
have to
think
it
it
counts.
disregard what you're
qualifies.
saying.
I think it counts. You go to a specialty donut shop, they sell cronuts. I'm
Think-
there with you.
Again,
I don't think I've ever tried this one.
it's just really good. And again, it's not too much. And again, maybe I'm just like in my light and flaky era. But damn, it's like this is a
Jesse's
croissant
been
that can
brutally
party.
sunburned from a weekend out. But
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's my second pick.
I love it.
applaud
Nice.
that.
I actually don't know if I've ever had a cronut before.
Oh, you guys! After this,
Get
Get
some
a
cronuts.
cronut.
Get
So
some
late,
so
right?
good.
They're not gonna. Where are they gonna go get a cronut? It's
I
7
don't know,
p.m.
Safeway.
I don't even know what that
And
is.
that's
Is that
the
a
only thing.
Winnipeg
Walk
thing?
up to that cashier and just put one little dinky cronut in a plastic bag on the
Don't describe it
treadmill.
as dinky if you want them to go do it either. That's terrible salesmanship. One little dinky cronut. That's what you want them to go.
One
all you
little
need, man.
dinky cronut, please. Thomas, what do you have?
So I'm going to go with, I'm not going to name the chain, but it's probably the most famous Canadian donut chain. And in Buffalo, New York, which is quite close to Toronto, there were a few locations of this chain, and they had a slightly different menu to the Canadian version. And so there was a donut called a chocolate angel that they had there, which basically is a Boston cream with whip filling. And personally, I find the whip filling to be the superior filling to the custard of a Boston cream. So it's like what you might have at an Oreo donut might have this creamier whip filling rather than the custard. So I'm going to nominate the chocolate angel, aka a whip-filled chocolate donut.
And we're still not, we haven't violated the racism rule, right?
Well, I was going to say that is sort of, Thomas had said that he had sort of asked me to call him Donuts to make that a nickname. And I hate to impose, Thomas, but if you could sort of kind of start spreading around Chocolate Angel for my brown ass, that'd be awesome.
My God.
I'm looking. Jeez, I'm looking up this chocolate angel right now. Looks pretty fucking good.
It is
sounds
pretty fucking
incredible.
Oh my gosh,
sounds
look at this
incredible.
thing.
I just get pictures of seal. This is wild.
I'm glad we have a chocolate donut on this list right now because chocolate was missing. But
Chocolate
Kevin,
was missing.
what do you got? Fill in the list some more.
I
for
don't
us.
think you folks are fucking ready for this. Honestly, you're not. It's a classic. I thought for a while about going with maybe what someone might think is like a sugar twist or something like that, but I thought no. Instead, I'm gonna go with the mini donut, the cinnamon sugar mini donut.
Wasn't sure how small we were gonna get, and we got mini.
Sorry, don't say that. That triggers me.
Why?
Kind of a dinky
lot of my
donut,
exes
though,
sort of
isn't
said
it?
that to me. Mini donut. Keep it small. Keep it circus fare. I really did think long. I love a cinnamon sugar coated donut. I think it's a great way to go. Actually, earlier we talked about a chain that only glazes their donuts. Their cinnamon sugar is not glazed, which is interesting. But the cinnamon sugar donut of a normal size is great. But compare that to like a bag of mini donuts.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
When you eat them within the first 2 minutes
Yeah.
of them
Oh.
being made, that's
Perfect.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was the big promise of the KK brand, which was that they would give you those hot, fresh glazed donuts that would feel really warm. It's hard to get a warm donut nowadays, other than the mini donut.
I think we're ready for round 3. And
Yeah.
round 3, should we go smaller in donut
Can we
size?
get even smaller
How
than
is
the
that
mini
possible?
donut? I
Can we
can't
get-
imagine.
Can I say the smaller donut? Is that possible?
Can you?
Uh-oh.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna?
I'm gonna.
okay.
Is he about to freaking
Okay.
go there?
He's gonna go there.
I'm fucking
This is-
nominating Timbits.
This is going to go viral. Sorry. say it again.
Timbits.
Jesus.
Or
Timbits.
I believe the non brand name, the donut hole.
The donut hole. That's right. That's actually true. Now, I had to Google this a little bit because I was like, are Timbits donuts? And it seems a little controversial
I think
on the
so.
internet.
They are.
But I think they're
I think
donuts.
so.
They're freaking
You
donuts.
can't
man.
poke the hole out of a donut and have the remnants not still be part of a donut.
Just to
That's
be clear,
crazy.
Are we giving you the full assorted gambit?
I think
of,
we
of
have
Timbits?
to.
I think that's fair.
You get all of them.
I'm actually open to this discussion here
Because
because
no, you would never get a box of one type of Timbit. Like
Yeah.
by
That's
definition,
psychotic.
you
If
get
someone
an
does
assorted.
that, they are a psycho.
Yeah, you
That's
get assorted.
Yeah, a truly unhinged thing to do. If you do that, you need to seek professional.
But which Timbit would you reach for in that box?
See,
Each of you.
I'm curious if you guys liked. I really liked. And this is controversial too. You remember when Justin Bieber did
Yes,
his line
I
of
was just
Tim
thinking
Biebs?
the Bieber.
Yes,
Timbits was
they were
really
bad.
good.
They were
I think
good.
They were
pretty
good.
bad.
They were
No.
good.
They were good.
You fritter freaks also are Beeb heads.
Oh my
I
gosh,
get it.
not a believer.
I get it. No. I couldn't fuck around with the Beebs.
Baby,
birthday
baby,
cake,
baby.
birthday
Mm.
cake flavor one. There was a what
Yeah,
was it?
birthday
Birthday cake
cake.
is a terrible flavor. Overrated.
not.
Overrated.
I'm with Kevin on that one. Not a huge fan of birthday cake. I'm
Birthday
going
cake
for
is
the
bad.
strawberry powdered filled.
Okay,
That's-
that's a good one.
That's your mini donut of choice.
Absolutely.
Mini donut. When
I
I was
think-
young, it used to always be that little chocolate cake glaze one.
Yeah,
but
that
now I
was
go for
my
the
first one.
Oh, sorry, T. I was gonna say, but now I'm going for the. I like the honey cruller-esque ones.
Yeah.
The sort of. I think they're actually just the glazed ones that are just like overcooked or something.
Yeah. Kevin,
Yeah.
for once in my life, we agree those are the same two I was going to say. I reach for the double chocolate, but once I've had one double chocolate, I go for that honey glaze.
Every time. Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
I'm just reaching for my box of Tim Biebs, and that's all I'm reaching for, baby.
It's all Biebs or nothing, eh?
60 Tim Biebs.
Yeah. You're like, the psycho who gets one flavor, but you
just birthday cake Tim Biebs, please. No, I
just want to know Justin had something to do with it. If you could just assure me that he was involved in some way, I'd love a box.
He was in the kitchen making the first batch.
That guy was making money off of that run, because my friend, when that was happening, she's like, I need to go buy the Tim Biebs like a fanny pack that came with it, and like the Tim Biebs like cup. Like they're just Timbits. Why is there a fanny pack associated with Timbits?
That's where you keep them. That's where you keep them.
No, like it doesn't matter as long as you just tell them that it's something that you want to care about. They'll just fall for it. Now, I think society's fallen. I think that's the success of Tim Biebs means that the world is doomed. I'm convinced.
I think it's a sign of hope, and it's we're going to turn things around.
Me too. And unrelated, if you want to go over podcavern.com and buy one of our fanny packs, that would be real great. That would be real great. And
capitalism has ruined everything, but if you're looking to expend your capitalist money, you should do it too.
The future is unwritten, so go buy a fanny pack.
That's right.
To support the pod.
It's
Jesse,
true.
what do you have?
Better things are possible. All right, I'm going to go. This is a donut I was introduced to only in this past year.
Wow.
This is a new one to me, but it's a vintage donut. It's an old school donut. And I got introduced to this not from a chain, but my good buddy Luke
homemade
make
them for you
and brought them in. And they are the Walnut Crunch.
Nice.
Whoa.
These are really good donuts.
Really
I don't even know what they are.
Close friend of the fritter. I would argue the Walnut Crunch is pretty much a fritter. It's just
a chocolate-based fritter.
It's chocolate, but it has walnut in it. It's just
and no
great.
apple. Right? Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's like square shape then ish?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like I take equal amounts of umbrage with the Walnut Crunch as I do with the apple fritter in this contest and this contest alone. Luke
do you
would
like
never
the taste, Kevin?
I love a Walnut Crunch. I even love an apple fritter.
Then why don't you shut the fuck up? Why don't you shut the fuck up if you like?
No,
if you like the taste
about goddamn
if you
donuts.
like the taste, why don't you just shut your goddamn mouth?
This is a contest about
give my third option.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right, Thomas, go for it.
Yeah.
Dribble it out.
So because my first was taken, I have a few options here that I'm deciding between. And I feel
this is the final nom for you, right? Or the nom, if you will.
The nom.
Right. But we do have honorable mentions. We have honorable mentions.
We're going to have those honorable mentions. Those are going to come up. The Walnut Crunch on my short list as well. There's one I have that I really love, but I'm sure will not make the top 5, but it kind of feels true to me.
You should do it.
And so maybe I got to do it.
You should do it.
It's that chocolate peppermint candy cane donut. So a chocolate cake base, chocolate frosting, broken up candy cane pieces in it. That's a great donut. If you like chocolate and mint, it's so good.
I'm so sweet. A swing akin to creme brulee, but that's a huge swing. Yeah.
It's just a bit too sweet for me. I gotta
speak my truth. I love the mint flavor.
Respect.
That's too sweet for me.
Seasonal choice too.
It's crushed candy cane on top.
Yeah, just a few little flakes of crushed peppermint on top of that chocolate.
I kind of love that.
Okay. I've got this here. And
Bring it home.
I know how to give you folks what you want, but it's also something that I actually really enjoy. And it's underrated, and it is a classic in its own regard. It is a strawberry sprinkle iced donut. It is a pink frosting. The sprinkles a la the classic Simpsons donut, the one that you imagine when you think of Homer going, Yes, exactly.
Let's all do the noise.
Yeah. Awesome. That won't be clipped to our demise at any point. Surely not. But that's the one.
That pink one. Yeah.
Sprinkles. Sprinkles were missing from the list. Nobody was brave enough to bring the sprink to the town, but I think it's time.
We're doing a pink frosted
bringing the sprink to
donut.
The town.
Can we just call that a Homer donut, Kevin?
Yeah, we call it the Homer donut if you want. That's fine with me. I wouldn't take umbrage with being associated with one of the greatest, most iconic characters of all time.
The Honut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I like a sprinkled donut a lot on this list because it adds that the sprinkles on a lot of things don't do anything for me, but on donuts they add
I
the
agree.
right amount
Yep.
of texture that
Sprinkles
changes it.
kind of overrated topping in most regards, but
Yeah.
with donuts, they're kind of
They're
ballin'.
perfectly at home on donuts.
Kind of ballin'.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have our list of 12 here. So I'm going to get these slave workers, I mean, just my colleagues, to get back into the bakery,
Super amazing.
make some donuts, and they're going to get annular back there while
Oh man.
while we sit on this list a
Glad we're
bit
getting
before we come back to rank top 5 donuts. We'll be back.
I'm Tom Zalatni,
And I'm Tefera Jemian.
and we're the hosts of the No Bad Food podcast.
No Bad Food is a show about great food and the people who love to make and eat it. Our mandate is simple: to explore, taste, and learn about food in ways that celebrate all the things that make it great.
Every week we dig into a different dish, meal, ingredient, cuisine, or piece of food media, exploring the history and culture around it, sharing favorite recipes, and learning from our wonderful guests.
The only rule?
You gotta love it.
After all, there's no such thing as bad food.
Find us in the Pod Cavern or wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Top five, top five, top five.
Hey everyone, we are back. We're ready to rank some donuts. Kevin is holding a mini donut in front of us right now. What's going on here? Is that the mini donut?
I mean, this is a mini. This isn't the one I nominated. I nominated a cinnamon. This is an original, old-fashioned mini donut. This is like the ones that wouldn't go bad very quickly if you bought them and put them in your home.
Look how tiny that hole is. Yeah, you heard me. You heard me.
I did.
You did, and
Moving on.
everyone just was like, "Wow, he said that." Okay, so we have our list of 12 delicious donuts that my workers here have. They work so hard to make the most beautiful donuts in the kitchen, and we're here to eat some of them. Metaphorically. So we have the apple fritter, the honey cruller, powdered jelly donut, creme brulee donut, the glazed donut, the cronut, chocolate angel whipped filled Boston cream. Is that the full name, or it's just chocolate angel?
I think that's a description of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Boston cream with whipped cream instead of custard.
That sounds delicious. The cinnamon sugar mini donut, Timbits, walnut crunch, chocolate peppermint, or the candy cane donut, if you will, strawberry sprinkle donut, or the home nut.
Home nut.
The home nut.
The home
I
nut.
might crank out a home nut after this, actually, if there's time.
Jesus.
With sprinkles to add. Hey, we're here all week. No, we're not. Okay, so let's get into really the nitty gritty of this podcast here. But before we get into that, let's kind of narrow down our options here. So I'm going to go around the horn here and get everyone to star a nomination that you want to talk more about that isn't one of your own. Jesse, star one that isn't one of your own.
Oh shit. I mean, apple fritter.
Apple fritter starred. Perfect.
It's not mine, but it could have been, so yes.
Yeah.
Could have been any
been, should've
three
been.
of ours. Yeah. Thomas, star one that isn't one of your own.
Yeah, I'd like to talk more about Timbits when we finally get down to it.
Okay. Kevin.
Oh boy, I guess I'd like to talk a little bit about the honey cruller. I love the honey cruller.
Honey cruller is good. And I want to have the strawberry sprinkle donut, the honut, on here. Now, we have 4-starred the apple fritter, honey cruller, Timbits, and the
Timbits.
strawberry sprinkle donut. Let us open the discussion a little further. Star another one if you want, and it can include one of your own now, if you think it will have a good chance, or if you want to really make the argument for it. Anybody can go. Kevin, what do you think?
And we're not repeating ones yet.
No.
Right? These are all have to be fresh
stars.
Fresh takes.
I want to star that walnut crunch. I kind of want to star that walnut crunch.
Okay, Thomas is walnut crunch.
That's fair.
Kevin,
I'll star the powdered jelly donut.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'd like to star the mini donut. I think I'd like to star the experience of the mini donut. Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm gonna bet on myself.
You should. You should always bet
Hey,
on
man,
yourself.
I think that's
I don't
great.
like those odds.
Your odds.
I'm going to star the glazed donut for the conversation because it's a classic, but
That was what I was going to star, and then I got selfish. So I'm glad that you did it.
Yeah.
I feel the glazed donut could go all the way.
It could. Now, I want to talk about the ones that aren't starred right now and see if we're okay with letting them go so we can save our animosity towards each other for the things that actually matter here. So, cronut isn't starred. Is that okay, Jesse?
Yeah, I think I gotta listen to my co-hosts, and if you guys haven't really had it or don't think it's a real donut, I'm gonna keep it as a little secret for myself.
It's a
It
new,
is a good
new nut
experience
on the scene. It's a little bit of it's a young kid donut. We don't know what it's going to become yet.
I think we're confident at let's not call it a young nut on the scene or anything like that.
Is the cronut flaky? Is it like you bite into a croissant and just like
Tongue?
kind of flakes everywhere?
Tongue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Love to hear it. Goodbye, cronut. How about the chocolate angel or the chocolate peppermint? You like both of those, Thomas?
I mean, I love the peppermint, but I feel like it's divisive. Not everyone likes chocolate mint. It's probably not going to make a top 5. I do kind of think the whip-filled, like we don't really have a cream-filled donut. I think that one I'd like to keep in.
Okay,
I agree.
Let's have it in for the discussion.
It's an interesting choice, really.
Yeah, if you said Boston cream, and I know that's
Boston cream didn't even make it on the list.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it until Tim Bit.
Though I gotta be honest,
when
I've
I
had
like
some
stone
bad
craving
bad ones.
donuts, the Boston cream is like the one I crave when I'm like high and I want something like
But you can't. People have fucked it up many times, I find.
Yeah, like a chain which I will not name, but maybe a hockey player was involved. I've had some bad ones, like bitter.
But the good ones are good.
Yeah, when it's good, it's great.
Yeah.
The quality of the custard has declined, which is why I think whip is a little more reliable, even if it's, the highs are less high.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it might be our stand-in right now. The creme brulee donut.
Yeah, I'm fine with getting rid of the creme brulee donut. You guys don't have taste. It's okay.
Wow. That's just not true.
If only we could afford it.
Yeah. Let me take out another mortgage and then I can maybe get one of those.
No, it's fine. I understand. The people out there who are listening to this who have had a creme brulee donut will understand. They'll know what's going on.
Do you have to bring your own
torch?
torch?
They'll know who to vote for if they're American, and they'll know. They'll understand.
Does it come with that little silver spoon that you were born with?
That's right. What'd you say, sir? You talking about my fucking silver spoon?
Yeah. Do you have to crack it with the little silver spoon that was in your mouth when you were born?
Of course you have to crack it with a little silver spoon that's born in your mouth.
I picture with the creme brulee donut. Have you seen those videos? What's that guy? Salt Bay, or that other guy who does, I forget what kind of meal he does. He's like a really short chef or whatever. Anyways, you pay like a ridiculous amount of money, like $200 up to thousands of dollars for the main chef to come out and give you a little show. They a
ridiculous amount of money or pocket change for some.
for some like yourself,
or a pittance.
That's right,
as I like to call it.
So they come out with a briefcase, and then there's like a fog machine, and then here's your donut. And that's how I'm picturing the creme brulee donut.
That's the vibe.
Yeah, and on top,
this is like Kevin O'Leary's pick. I'm sorry to say it.
Like
Don't
you get
talk about my dad.
a $13.
Leave my dad out of
your
this.
name. You're Kevin Jr.
Yeah, Kevin. I changed my last name from O'Leary to Ramberran, so that I
ain't fooling anyone.
Yeah. It's too close. They're too close together, man.
Yeah, this is a wig.
All right. Our donuts here. I'm going to read them once over without interruption. And then the second time, what I'm going to want from you guys is something called locks. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But for now, here are the starred
bagels, not donuts. All right.
Here's the starred nominations. Apple fritter, glazed donuts, Timbits, honey cruller, walnut crunch, powdered jelly donut, chocolate angel, cinnamon sugar mini donut, and strawberry sprinkle donut. That's 9-starred. That's far too much. So what I'm going to do is say that list one more time, and everyone's going to say if it's a lock or not. It's like your gut reaction, if you think it makes the top 5. And if I say the nomination and you say lock and everyone says it's a lock, it's probably going to make our top 5 list. If someone hesitates and wants to talk about it a little bit more, then we just move on to the next nomination. Sound good?
And before we do this, Kevin, just give up about the apple fritter. It is a lock. It doesn't matter what you think. It's going to be in there. So don't just let's not have another conversation about it.
Can we say key if we think it should be kicked off the list?
Sure. Yeah.
Major
I want
key
that.
alert over
I want
here.
that. Okay, here we go.
Fritter's getting out of here.
Apple fritter, lock or no lock? Lock.
Key.
Key.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, let's have another 5-minute pointless discussion before we lock it in at number 1.
That's true. Glazed donut, lock or no lock?
Lock.
I think lock.
I would probably
gonna
lock
have.
it. Yeah, but Jesse sounds like no.
Just it's a great donut. It's just it's
Okay.
not my favorite.
You
That's
know,
okay.
the honey cruller kind of makes it redundant, so I'm actually going to rescind my lock.
I'm gonna unlock as well. Thomas
Okay.
has easily convinced me. I was a fair weather fan with it to begin with, but yeah.
Easily convinced about that, but not that apple fritter is a donut.
Shut the fuck up.
Timbits, lock or no lock?
Not a lock, but would love to discuss further.
I would love to discuss it too. They're kind of a fun thing, but
I feel like
yeah,
we're
we'll talk
going
about
like iconic, like top 5 iconic donuts, but we're going with like best.
Yeah.
So
I do think that Timbits and mini donuts for some reason feel like they're in contention with each other.
Yeah,
And so I
they're
feel
it's
like
going to be
maybe-
one or the other.
Yeah,
I'm going with
if-
mini
yeah.
donuts.
Yeah.
All right,
so
all right.
that's- that's
honey
my vibe on it.
cruller, lock or no
I think
lock?
it's a
It's a
lock.
lock.
Lock that
It's a
sucker.
lock.
Okay,
It's a
our
goddamn
first
lock.
unanimous lock.
Throw it in prison.
Yeah.
Walnut
Throw it in
crunch.
prison.
I'm going to say it's a lock, but I know it's not going that way.
I need to hear more about it.
It looks like a turd, right?
A square.
And that's
think
what makes the good taste so
it is
amazing.
deceptive. It is good, but it does look like a turd.
I mean, all donuts kind
And
of
so
look
do
like
you,
turds.
but we still let you on the podcast. So
I am a chocolate angel.
Speaking of chocolate angel, lock or no lock?
wait, we skipped jelly donut.
I
which
know, but it
think
was a good segue.
That's
And
a
now you-
lock.
was good.
I want to
Yeah.
lock in jelly.
I'll lock jelly.
We're going back to jelly.
We
Okay.
don't have to, but I mean, I've locked almost every donut. So
Yeah,
I
you
should
haven't-
stop.
I would lock a jelly donut. I would lock.
I'm
a
so
jelly
hungry.
But
I will
I
lock it.
could be convinced of locking a jelly donut for its classic nature, although it's not out of the classics. It's maybe my least favorite.
donut. Okay,
But
then
yeah.
maybe it doesn't sound like. Well, how about chocolate angel? Chocolate angel.
I will take a jelly over a chocolate angel.
Yeah, I think the chocolate angel's on the chopping angel block.
Yeah.
That was smooth.
Yeah.
I could tell you do a
Thank
lot
you
of
for
improv. Let's do. How about cinnamon sugar mini donut?
I think
Yeah,
it's a
I love
lock,
one. I'll lock
baby.
it.
It's a
I like
I'll
a
lock that.
cinnamon sugar donut. I do.
It's
Yeah.
good.
It's
I don't know
great.
for sure, but I
Okay.
want to.
If
Yeah,
you
okay.
went to Winnipeg, Tongue, we would make you go to the Forks, which is where the rivers meet, and they have the best fresh mini donuts you'll ever have.
Wow.
So maybe
Ever.
it's like a Winnipeg thing.
It's but also like, at a carnival, at a fair, funnel cake is too much, right? Deep fried Mars bar, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm
You
not
sell that.
19
You
anymore.
sell that at your restaurant.
If I'm moving through the city with a sack in hand, and a little
Why?
sweet treat upon my lips, I'm dipping them
You're
fingers.
holding your sack at the
I
county
think
fair.
it's a
No,
big
it's a sack of mini donuts.
Oh, okay.
a sack with a big dollar sign on it.
They
probably.
sell
We're-
them by the bucket, my friend.
We're back
They
to
sell them by
D's
the
nuts
bucket?
again.
Oh my
Kevin's
By the
sack
bucket.
in
You
hand.
can buy 'em
D's
by the
nuts
bucket.
edition.
And Kevin's talking about fingering donuts, everyone. What happened
Yeah.
here?
All right,
What
all right.
happened here? We're
All right.
derailing
The
ourselves.
Red River XXX. I mean, this is
These are local
a little bit
references.
Too, yeah.
I think that mini donuts are amazing, and I think that they show up when you need them.
I-
They're a late night donut. How often? How many times can you say that about a donut?
And I'll say to your point, they're shareable in a way that
That is
lots
a
of
nice.
donuts
That's
aren't.
a nice treat of the
If you're eating a
shareable-
donut and someone asks you
communal.
for some of your donut, it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
A donut is not a lot of.
But this is my argument against the mini, and I know we're getting there advance. I feel like I'm a little too willing to give one away. You don't want the whole bag. You need a couple people to take a few, don't you? Don't you?
That's
You
'cause
know it's
you're
true.
A little
But-
coward.
It's a
You
show.
know
How
it's true.
happy are
But
they? The
donuts
look
are-
in their eye
Mm.
when you tilt the bag over with one hand, revealing the contents.
Yeah.
Is not the greatest gift of all, the greatest meal of all, something you can share with a friend.
But why? But you shouldn't need to share it.
I
And
was
that
gonna
I
s-
think is a shot against the
You
mini donut.
capitalist.
I
can't
feel-
use too many.
You, imperialist.
Donuts are
almost?
made to be shared. That's
Thank
that's
you.
the whole that's the thing. Like you in the office, there's someone that always brings a box of donuts. Construction workers, the cops.
On that beam, sitting
Everyone's
up on that beam,
fucking
eating their donuts.
Eating donuts. Yeah.
Exactly. And in this day and age of inflation and Bidenflation, as we like to call it,
Do we?
Do we? Most of us live in Canada.
I'm kidding.
Hey, I'll commit to it. Buy inflation.
Bringing a box of donuts is harder than ever to the office, but bringing a little sack of mini donuts for you to share around the close friends that sit near you, that's still a way to win. That's still a way to hit a home run coming to the office and be the guy who everybody wants to fuck. And that's what you need to do.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you what I want to lock Biden in jail for war crimes.
Strawberry sprinkled donuts. Strawberry
Yeah,
sprinkled
strawberry
donuts.
sprinkled donut.
Is it a lock? Jesse says no.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm feeling the vibes. I get it.
No, for the record, I would have done it. I would have locked it.
I like it. I do think it is nearing on the too sweet territory, which I think we can, as we're all, a little averse, it seems, to like the hyper sugary donut that's like gonna blast you in the face with some cavity.
I could eat one of them. I could eat one of them. Yes. Yeah, one of them is fine. The second one,
there's
no way.
quadrants. There's quadrants, right? In the like looks bad, tastes great. You got walnut crunch. In the like looks great, tastes kind of medium.
Yeah,
strawberry sprinkled donut.
I think unfortunately that's the case. You're not really gonna order one when it's more iconic than delicious.
And I know that we waved the sprinkle flag earlier, but I will say the sprinkle flag get everywhere. They do get everywhere.
Yeah.
When you bite into a sprinkled donut, it is often the chance that you're going to make a little bit.
You're giving yourself a job later.
I feel like I'm listening.
You're giving yourself an errand.
I feel like I'm listening to Anakin Skywalker talk about sand right now.
Doesn't that reference mean?
I feel like I'm listening to freaking Anakin.
What do you mean? Don't repeat it. Right?
It says sand. It gets everywhere. He hates it.
Yeah.
That's a line that Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, it's kind of a famous line.
Yeah.
You don't know Anakin Skywalker?
No, I know who Anakin Skywalker is, but I don't know the line. I don't know the
Kevin has only seen the new trilogy.
I'm a huge Binks boy. Jar Jar's my dude. All right.
Doesn't know who Darth Vader
you
is.
have seen Anakin. Those are the only movies Jar Jar is
Menace,
in.
because the only thing that I was phantoming was sitting on my hand so I could stroke it to that Binksy boy.
Oh gosh.
He likes Sprinks and he likes Binks. Okay.
I would like to say to the
Jar Jar
audience.
Springs.
I would like to say to the audience, Kevin, before we hit record, was like, "How PG should I be for this podcast? Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?"
Yeah.
And here he is, talking about rubbing it out to Jar Jar
like
Binks.
a Disney villain.
I believe you told him to be himself, which was a massive error.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Jesse should have flagged that, honestly.
If you haven't listened to our show and if Jesse didn't warn you, it's not my fault. Okay, it's not my fault. I can't be held responsible for my own actions.
All right.
Okay, this is what we have.
Okay.
We've locked Honey Cruller. That's it.
Hell yeah.
That's it. Now, things that were on the chopping block, which can help us out here, it seemed like strawberry sprinkled donut might have been on the chopping block. Chocolate angel was close to being cut as well. Walnut crunch, I'm not sure. And glazed donut, I'm not sure too.
I think
and even Timbits as well.
I chose it, but walnuts gotta go. There's not enough hype behind it. It's sort of one of those specialty options. I think we can lose it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
I like it, but it's a new love of mine, and I don't, new relationships, they don't always last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the brave boy, and I'm going to drop the guillotine on the strawberry sprinkled donut that none of you seem to be able to just pull the trigger on. I'm gonna do it.
Gotta go.
I brought it into this world. I can take.
I would eat one of those right now, but then the sprinkles would get everywhere.
too.
So
it's true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Be a
The
little
mess
annoying.
is a key donut feature. I'm just gonna say this is being able to eat it on the go easily without a mess.
That's a great point.
Can I just say a solemn no?
yes, you can. Yeah.
Homer just pour one out.
Pour one out for the home nut.
The home nut.
Out
The home nut.
Home nut.
Shout out
the
to
Honut.
Lard Lad as well.
Yes.
Big
that donut.
hard lad.
That's like a plain cake donut with no frosting. Such a weird.
I know.
option,
It is
but
weird.
yeah.
Okay.
Awful.
What else do we have here? Timbits.
Interestingly enough, just as I mentioned, no cake donuts.
No cake
Right?
donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
Timbits.
the chocolate
Timbits.
peppermint one
Timbits
is
is
a cake
kinda
donut,
close.
actually.
Oh yeah, and the chocolate peppermint is. But I'm gonna
And the
I'm gonna
walnut
say
crunch,
Timbits
kinda.
We got to get rid of. Timbits is not
Are we
not in
cutting
contention.
Timbits?
I think the thing with cake donuts is cake already exists. So it's like that base is covered. You want cake? Have some
Right.
cake.
And donuts don't. So that's
I kind of feel I know maybe you've all decided, but I would like to have a debate if it's either mini donuts or Timbits
Me too.
for like the number 5 slot.
I'd
I
like
feel like
to-
there's still more to discuss there.
I think there's more to discuss with Timbits too, because it is kind of fun. And also, we did say
get the
that
variety.
we have Timbits is the full nominations Timbits, not just a specific flavor. And there's some pretty good Timbit flavors out there.
If we're gonna do that, can we extend the mini donut toppings to icing sugar and maple sugar as well? Because those are options.
I'll allow
for
it.
The whole category. Can we even
Is it-
include, and I think this is insane, but down in the bayou, they got something called a beignet. Now that's a mini donut. That's a powdered sugar mini donut that I could sink my crocodile teeth into.
It's great. It's good. It's good. You sound like
Loving this character.
You got it from Princess and the Frog.
Yes, I was playing a black character.
we did earlier say
Or
no
a frog.
racism as a ground rule. I must remind you, you chocolate angel, cease your behavior.
So the mini donuts, are we just saying mini donuts? As
I
the
think
nom-
all mini donuts versus all Timbits.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say about that head to head. You know, you're out and about, you see a table, craft services, whatever. There's a box of Timbits, there's a bag of fresh mini donuts. I mean, feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I do think I'm
I
going with
think
it.
it's actually a little bit unfair to have all mini donuts as part of it. Even
I don't even need all, man. I just need cinnamon sugar.
cinnamon sugar and
I'm gonna flip it though, because I think the nice thing about Timbits is you have some around the office at a rehearsal table. You're there for a few hours. Every little once in a while, you pop in, you have another Timbit. Those mini donuts you got to eat kind of right away. I like the staying power of the Timbit, the variety of the Timbit.
There's a longevity that I will say, if you need to show up to the office, as I was alluding to earlier, show up to an event for like a bunch of donuts for people, Timbits, you can pick them up at a drive-through and they are more affordable than mini donuts. That's key. Mini donuts are a bit more of a premium cost item. They're still affordable, but they're definitely, like a dozen mini donuts can run you like $5 to $7 to $12 depending on where you go. Whereas a box of Timbits, you're gonna get way more bang for your buck, right?
Agreed.
And if you take that to the right office with the right coworkers, you're gonna get more bang for your buck, if you know what I mean. So
Value's great. I'm a working class man. But if we're talking about like peak experience,
being having
the
your
best
coworkers
mini
desire
donut
to
is going to
make-
clear the best Timbit, I think.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough.
I
It's
think
tough.
I kind of want to give it to mini donuts just for the heat factor. It's the one hot, fresh donut on the list, other than maybe the glazed, which I have. A hot, fresh Krispy Kreme is some of the best thing ever. But
I'm also going to say this. I think that's a great point. And I'll also say a lot of the Timbits are covered by other donuts in the list.
Yeah.
Powdered jelly,
Yeah.
honey cruller.
Yeah, that's true.
they're sort of the minions next to the donut Gru. So yes, they.
And to me, like they are the rejects from the creation process, right? The donut is the idyllic creation. The hole is what's left over when you punch the circle in for the donut. So
It's sort of the shadow to the light.
yeah, it's the Waluigi to the Luigi. It's the Wario to the Mario. It's the and so I don't understand why we're really even spending so much time with this island of misfit toys that one would.
Well,
consider.
some of us actually identify with misfit toys.
Yeah,
And maybe the first time we ever felt truly seen was when we ate a Timbit.
Yeah, and the first time you went to the hospital was because you misfit a toy inside of you, but we don't talk about that.
Odd.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
that's these guys' deals.
Yeah.
Why aren't you this funny on our podcast? What the hell?
Thank
You're
you
really
for bringing
your A game.
Bring his A game today.
I
All
gotta
right.
get us some new listeners, man. I'm bringing the
Ben
fucking heat.
bringing his beignet game.
Nice.
Let us cut Timbits, I guess, even though the rest of the donuts are not sponsored by Justin Bieber, but whatever, I guess.
That was the linchpin for you.
Solid. Yeah, that was great.
No fanny packs for the rest of the donuts.
Bruno
was
Mars
like baby.
is out here repping walnut.
Deep fried
crunch.
Bruno Mars bar.
I'll
Very
catch
good.
a walnut crunch for you.
Yeah. All right. Let me remind the audience what we have so far. We have honey cruller, which is locked. We have the rest that are starred still: apple fritter, glazed donut, powdered jelly donut, chocolate angel, and the cinnamon sugar mini donut. Although I think that's locked at this point because we cut Timbits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say apple fritter, glazed donut, powdered jelly, and chocolate angel. We only have to cut one, and the rest stay on the list.
I think it's the chocolate angel, right? I feel like people were the most mixed on that one.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it to you guys here. You all were kind of hesitating on the glazed donut after there was a honey cruller glazed donut competition.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
So
I take cut glazed.
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
sake
you're
of
right.
variety.
And like I fucking love a glazed donut, but
Listen,
there's no chocolate
had
on this list.
4 of the 6 donuts I ate this morning were glazed donuts, but
You're sick of them.
You got 4 of the same type?
I don't know what your deal is today, man. I don't know where you're coming at me
I'm just
from with this
listening.
shit. Like, it's
I'm just reflecting what you say back to you.
I love your
gotta
friendship,
cool it,
guys. I love your friendship.
Yeah, you gotta cool it.
I love this energy. You're getting a raise next, Kevin.
This is the only time they talk to each other is on a podcast. So
That's genuinely the
Kind of
case.
honestly sort of true. We've been best friends for a long time, but it is sort of our only way of connecting.
We've distilled it down to this.
The thing is,
So-
like, glazed donut is also, in my mind, better than a powdered jelly donut. It's certainly better than a sugar mini donut. But
I would actually agree with you there.
I don't know. I would feel sad if there was no chocolate on this list, and it's the closest thing we have to a Boston cream, which I also feel is missing from this list as well.
It just the cruller makes it redundant unless we want to argue that the glazed is more iconic. It's like almost the original donut. So in some ways, as much as I love the cruller, I could see the glazed knocking it out, but it was the one lock, so we can't.
I think
let the past die and be reborn.
Crueller's more fun looking anyways.
And if someone's offering you the choice between 1 or 2 donuts, you're never picking the original glazed over the cruller. You're always grabbing the cruller. If it's between
that's not true. That's not necessarily true, but I do think the cruller edges it out.
Fucking hate you so much.
Okay.
Well, you got to be crueler to be kind.
Nice.
Cruller DeVille. That's something, right?
That's
Pretty
something.
good. Pretty good.
Not a great delivery, but I got there.
Yeah, I could sense the hesitation.
Yeah.
And I don't know what about what about me would make you feel hesitant to pitch your comedy towards us.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know why you might be on edge at all.
When I'm confronted by comedy titans.
Tread
like
lightly. Yeah, comedy titans. Yeah.
All right.
I'm a comedy tight end, as in I receive it.
101 donations. Is that something?
It's everything. It's everything.
Donations. That's pretty bad, man.
I
That's
have
pretty rough.
our list of 5.
Thank
I have
God.
a list of 5. Here it is. Apple fritter, honey cruller, powdered jelly donut, chocolate angel, and your cinnamon sugar mini donut.
And that's exactly the order they should be in. I'll just say it. That's exactly the order.
I kind of
think so?
agree. I think
Whoa,
I agree.
no,
I agree.
The only unanimous one was the honey cruller.
I don't think that's the order. I don't think that's the order. Well, okay, let's rewind. Let's rewind a second. What's number 5?
I think it is
mini
the
donut.
mini donut. I think that's where it belongs. That's the cuckoo bananas bizarro slot. We give it to the silly minis.
Call my nomination the silly minis. Respect the mini donut for what
I
it's
do.
brought you in this
It
world.
made the top 5.
It made the top 5.
Yeah.
Just take the win. You're not going to get many more before you fucking hit the bucket, you old piece of shit.
I'm 1 year older than you. I'm 1 year.
Yeah, but
like
your
a
health is
week.
declining.
I had 6 donuts this morning. Of course it is.
Listen to me, you guys. I pitched you guys to Tuong to go on this show. Don't you dare embarrass me.
That's right.
Don't you dare ruin this for me.
Jesse, that ship has sailed.
I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm
You
in the
think we're
kitchen.
coming
There's
back?
so many OSHA violations. My hands are charred to a pulp.
We've been doing this for over an hour. You think we're gonna right the ship now? You think I can come back?
This ain't the Mary Ellen Carter. This ship is sinking permanently.
That's a reference I don't get.
Stan Rogers, a great folk singer.
song.
Look him up.
He made some donuts.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I think mini donut number 5.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
move on.
I think there is a legitimate debate if fritter or cruller is number 1 because cruller includes.
But we're not
Kevin.
there. We're
I
not
will
there.
not
We're at number
stand
4.
to have the top of the
We're at number 4. We're at number 4. What's number 4?
Chocolate Angel.
I think so.
Okay, Thomas, you tell me. Chocolate angel, powdered jelly donut. What are you grabbing out of the box first?
I'm putting powdered jelly donut down to 4. I'm with you.
Because, we talked about messy donuts. I'm going to argue most donuts are messy, but a powdered jelly donut is...
That's really messy.
The
It's an
powder's
offender.
getting everywhere.
It's an
fucking
offender.
thing.
If you
Sometimes
get
the
jelly
jam
on your
will
shirt,
bust.
ugh.
Yeah. And like, listen,
Yeah.
I like getting busted on as much as the next guy.
Stop.
But
I saw it from a mile away and it was still painful.
that's what I said the last time I had a jam buster.
God damn it.
So I feel if I'm ordering one donut for myself, I'm more likely to get the jelly. But if I open a box, I am going for the chocolate. I don't know what it is, but at work, you see a chocolate covered one. It's hard to deny the appeal of that chalk.
And I do like a jelly donut too, though.
You got strawberry, you got raspberry.
The whip filling,
you got lemon.
Lemon's good, but just hear me out for a second, because I do think the whip filling, that includes some other legendary donuts, including the s'mores donut, the Oreo donut. That like white cream filling is very good. I could see a case of it beating out the jelly.
It is more exciting.
Cleanness.
So here's the thing. If it's a Boston cream, for me, it's beating out the jelly donut. If it's not a Boston
cream, could have
cream,
nominated that. Is it too late to switch it to a Boston cream?
It's too late.
I think this encompasses Boston cream, and for me is better.
I think it's better too.
Because we did talk about how like some Boston creams suck.
It's like freaking Russian roulette, man.
You can, it can
I'm
ruin
just not
your
as
day.
familiar with this one. I'm just not as familiar with this one, but its name is endearing.
Should we vote and see who's putting chocolate at 3 and who's putting jelly at 3 right now?
Okay.
I want to put jelly at 4. That's where I'm at.
I could be convinced quite quickly that jelly belongs at 4 and not 3.
I think jelly at 4 is a very respectable spot.
I think I'm willing to lose jelly.
Am I the holdout? Because I wanted it 3, but if everyone else is changing it, there's nothing I can do. Much like Kevin will learn with the apple fritters.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta acquiesce.
We're not there yet. We're not yet.
I will agree to jelly at 4.
I mean, I'm also very easily swayed, but I feel like I know the jelly donut quite well. It doesn't always excite me, but this chocolate angel one does excite me, and I think that.
I think the chocolate. I'm gonna make
good name.
Make one last pitch for jelly donut.
Okay, do it.
Just the tartness of the raspberry or of the lemon with that light, powdery, airy donut.
It is so goddamn good.
I'm interested. It's interesting that you're advocating so strongly for it as the other fellow beard man on this episode. I feel like
just more for later, baby.
One of the biggest problems with the mess of it all, I love powdered sugar, I really do. But there was a reason I chose the cinnamon sugar mini donuts when I did it. And it's because powdered sugar, it just creates sort of a whole other experience going on in your beard and keeping yourself clean. And I'm a little bit of a clean boy, as it were.
That's been proven throughout this recording.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say.
Wiki motherfucker.
This is what I'll say. I 100% agree with you on the mess. It is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet I keep going back. And what does that say? I know it's going to be a disaster. I know I have a presentation in 10 minutes.
It says a lot about you.
And yet,
I'm not sure what it says about the donut.
And
you
yet
like living
it's
on
so
the edge.
Good.
You
it's
love
so
edging.
good that it transcends the mess.
I think it explores your hedonism.
Jesse has convinced me completely. And the other thing I will add is you can kind of trick yourself into thinking the jam donut's a little healthy. That you're like, this isn't that indulgent. I'm actually kind of making sure that my nutrition is on point, and that's a huge benefit.
That is a big win for me as a man who, as I repeat, had 6 donuts for breakfast this morning.
You're on death's door, as we've established.
Now,
were they 6 full-size donuts you ate this morning?
I don't respect myself, and I don't expect you to respect me.
I'm just asking.
I'm going to tell you the truth here. I went to a recently opened, very popular chain. It just recently opened up in Winnipeg. People are very excited about it. I simply went because I was tired of the Canadian Classic. And I thought, you know what? We're doing this episode. Let me see what really kind of pans out. So I asked them to give me 12 donuts of whatever type, but make a decent amount of them the classics. And they did that. And I ate 6 of those donuts. And then I gave the other 6 to my friends.
But 4 of those were the same donut that you ate.
Yeah, but that was by choice, and that's what I was. That's one of the reasons why I was going to bat for.
Did you get hot, fresh glazed from there?
Oh, I did indeed. I did get hot, fresh glazed. I did. Yeah, and those were.
It's crazy how much research you did for this episode, and it's still going this badly. You know, like you put in more time.
I'll tell you what I didn't get in that stupid box of 12. What the experts over at that fine establishment did not nary give me was a fritter.
And you know why? Because they want those bad boys for themselves.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They're keeping it for themselves.
Yeah.
That they're all selfish.
That donut chain
fuckers.
has some classics that it does not really include. I don't really think it has many good jelly
Wait,
donuts
you have
either,
to tell
'cause
me,
they're
what is this called?
Krispy Kreme,
Krispy
Krispy
Kreme.
Kreme, the
Krispy
glazed.
Kreme.
Every
Okay.
donut is glazed, so that some of the classics aren't really included.
They're not in there. Yeah, Krispy Kreme doesn't
Right.
have everything.
I would agree with you. I've had a lot of Tim Hortons in my life recently. I didn't need to add more to the Timothy Horton.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Okay. So with all that said, do we flop on Chocolate Angel versus Jelly?
I'm putting the jelly at 3 if I
All
can
right.
convince anyone else with the health trick.
is a
I
big
think
push.
I think that really goes.
You know
a
what?
long way.
I'll let the Chocolate Angel slide to 4 because it isn't the Boston Cream to me, and I did say that earlier, and I will
Okay.
stand by what I said.
I guess like
Let's
in my
stand on
head,
business.
I was really replacing it like almost 1-to-1 with Boston Cream, which I know it's
Right.
not, but you know,
Right.
I do like a jelly donut. What am I saying? That dangerous
good.
squirt in the mouth.
The
You heard me.
dangerous squirt in the mouth.
heard me.
Not a
Seven.
selling point. Not a selling
Kevin, just keep your little mouth shut there.
That's disgusting, you guys. Have some fucking class, okay? Have
Wow.
some goddamn decor.
All right, creme brulee.
Oh
My
God.
financiers are going to listen to this episode.
All right, here it is. Boxing gloves are out. Honey cruller, apple fritter. Let's have it.
I just think 3 of us put it at number 1. There's
But
nothing
4
else
of
to
us-
say.
4 of us were locked in on Honey Cruller.
You had
You're
an
a
apple
communist.
pancake
You're a
3
communist.
days ago, and you loved it.
I'm not saying listen, I've let this goddamn apple fritter make its way to the top
You
2
haven't ever
donuts.
allowed it to go. You've
it
argued
is
every
there.
step of
It
the
is
way.
there. It
You
is
fought
there.
so
And-
hard for it.
It's a fritter. I'm not gonna let a fucking fritter top the list of top 5 fucking goddamn
Oh, here we go.
donuts.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, this is insane.
Let's find a definition for fritter, right? I think it's a donut. I'm just seeing a few different. Oh, you took your shirt off. I didn't even see that. This is an audio podcast.
I also missed it looking up fritter knowledge.
Yeah,
but
You can hear it. If
Yeah.
you listen closely, you can
Yeah.
hear the shirt.
I don't know if
Yes,
Kevin
I
knows
have a
this.
farmer's tan. Yeah.
It's so
Kevin.
brave for you to eat 6 donuts in a row and then take your shirt off.
Why is Kevin rubbing himself in fritters right now? I don't get it. I thought he hated them.
I would never do that. I would never
He's
do that because I'm
freaking
not a
Baron
sick-
Harkonnen in a tank of fritters.
You can't afford a loofah, so he's just rubbing himself in fritters. Oh my gosh.
Fritters rhymes with terrible things. It rhymes with critters. It rhymes with jitters. Those are like things that people do not desire to have.
This is the
things
weakest
that
argument.
The other one
man.
is rhymes with crueler, which is
It doesn't rhyme with
meanest-
crueler. It is crueler. It's
It's crueler to choose it.
Well,
You guys,
it ain't called Cruelist. Oh, that's what I'm going to say.
Wow.
there are so
He
many
said it.
people out there. I think in terms of just thinking about what people want, right?
Mhm,
The populace. More people out there are happy to
I
take
think-
a honey.
Call my
cruller than
dad
there are-
right now.
There is
Call my
I'm not gonna
father
call
on
your
his
dad.
telephone.
Why would I call your dad?
Calling
right now?
because
I don't have
you're
his
gonna
number,
ask him what his
right?
favorite donut is, and dollars to what we're talking about. He's gonna say the goddamn apple fritter.
I think
Kevin, get
Kevin's-
Mr. Bergen on the phone right
Should I
now.
call
I
him?
don't have his number, right? It's 8
Should I call
PM.
him?
Kevin, tell Jesse
I
what
call
you
my
said
dad?
his name was on our podcast yesterday.
I called him Jerry Bergen, all right?
Yes.
Because we've only been friends for like a decade, okay?
I'm putting him on speaker.
It's cold in my basement. I'm putting my clothes
Oh, you're
on.
actually calling him.
Mr. Jesse.
Hi, Dad. You're currently on a podcast. We're debating what the top 5 donuts are. What is your favorite donut?
It's apple fritter.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Oh my gosh, that was a live call.
4 against 1.
That's insane.
4 against 1.
Look,
Mr. Bergen, listen, if you listen to this episode of the show, because I think it might happen, and I'm really sorry if you do.
You're
I'm
really
about to say
that's a
some
long
things-
shot.
I'm about to say some things about you.
yeah.
I don't want you to take that seriously, but I do mean them with my whole heart. Jesse, your father
Incredibly
is
confusing intro.
is a sad man, a deeply
Wow.
flawed man with an opinion that is worth nothing more than the shit on my shoe when I step on a dead body walking home from work. That is disgusting behavior. You should not ever try to tell people that the best donut in the world nary has a hole even anywhere near it. A dense brick of dough and apple with some fucking glaze on top.
And cinnamon.
I do not think so. And cinnamon. I love cinnamon. I make my fucking home on cinnamon, but I do not. I do not stand for a fritter topping this list. Everybody loves the honey cruller.
This is like the end of 12 Angry Men where Kevin pairs up a picture he has of an apple fritter and then bursts into tears and says, not guilty, not guilty.
I'm getting a little
goddammit."
Randy from Trailer Park Boys from this look here. Shirtless,
It's like if it was 12
sunglasses.
Angry Men, but he convinced them to make the guy go to be executed even sooner.
Okay,
I think
we got to make a
I
list.
think
We got to do this. What do
we
we
have to acknowledge that, and this is a weird argument, and I also don't think it matters. 3 of us said number 1. It's already been decided. But
4 of us.
4 of us. I think if the honey cruller was the glazed donut, which I agree is a less good donut, you could make the case that it was iconic, that it's like a classic. It's the plain donut. It wins just on that. The honey cruller is kind of unique, though, and so I don't think you can put it at number 1 just on its like iconography. And therefore, we're stuck with a donut that's a little bit of a dark horse candidate. No one really believed in it, but a classic that's always been around and always will be. They sell it at Mickey D's Nuts. So let me say the apple fritter is number 1. You lose.
I will never forget this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you in like 20 minutes, you'll do a bong hit and it'll be gone.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Don't you think that any sort of drugs or narcotics or any sort of
Kevin's going to point his blowtorch away from his creme brulee donut and towards his shatter, and he's going to take a fucking big hit of resin or whatever it is.
I am so sorry to the folks at home who listened to this episode and thought, that guy sounds reasonable. That sounds like somebody I agree with, because he wasn't letting these, frankly, extremists take over the show.
Oh, okay.
And change the opinions of you, the folks out there at home. This is a disgrace. This is a disgusting moment in history, and I'm sorry I couldn't do better by you. I apologize for everything I have heard today, and it was not my intention to let these people trick you into thinking that that's the type of bullshit that goes on here. And I'm sure Tuong has a better way of operating most of the time, but that's just, sometimes the bad shit, sometimes the bad apple fritter falls right on your ass. And that's what's happening.
Wow.
And he stuck the landing.
He did it.
An incredible closing argument.
Olympic goals of arguments.
Let's hear the final list.
All right,
we got our list here. Fritters or a donut? I don't know what else to say, but you can literally Google it. Number 5, cinnamon sugar mini donut. Number 4, chocolate angel. Number 3, the powdered jelly donut. Number 2, the honey cruller. And number 1, with a nice bullet, an appley bullet, the apple fritter.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Delicious.
I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with this list.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
That's a really good list of donuts.
If
How do you guys
Isaac
put a
Newton,
fucking apple on your head and do apple fritter on your head and do like a William Tell thing?
if Isaac Newton had an apple fritter up in that tree, he wouldn't have figured out gravity, because he would have been moving up to get that thing. He wouldn't have ever known that it could fall.
Like I
He'd be
said,
shooting up like a cartoon character.
What is the?
like
what is,
I
don't
said earlier,
Like smelling a pie on a windowsill.
Yeah.
It's flying up.
these comedy titans on this podcast over here.
Here is a question: do they make other kinds of fritters?
Yeah,
They don't have to.
Yeah,
isn't there a blueberry
Probably.
fritter?
there is a blueberry fritter.
Oh,
Also
my
quite
God.
good. Also,
All right,
quite
reset
good.
the podcast. Reset.
I love a blueberry fritter,
Let's go.
but-
I'm quitting podcasting if you put me through another round of this shit with blueberry fritter on the table as well. I have to fight against blueberry fritter.
Okay.
Terrible food.
We don't
Honorable
have to,
mentions?
Honorable mentions. No more talk about fritters unless it's on your honorable mentions.
I will murder someone.
But let's go ahead, Jesse. I want you to list off the rest of your honorable mentions.
I mean, I only have a couple that weren't mentioned.
Yeah, go
I'm
for
going to go the chocolate glazed.
Yeah,
Pretty
Classic.
good
That's a
classic
good one.
donut.
Classic.
It's just a little dense for me, so I don't.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
like the chocolate dip, or is that
No, it's like the double chocolate Timbit, but in the ring form.
Gotcha.
Ringu,
Cake
if you're in Japan.
Thank you for shouting out our
one of my
Japanese
faves, but I thought it was a bit, I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't list it, but the long john with the cream filling.
Yeah.
Right. Sort of the mix of the jelly donut and the
Long John's on mine too.
It's more of an annular, what do we say? An annular Boston
Annular.
cream.
Yeah.
Annular Boston cream.
of the Buster family. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. It's like a chocolate angel that's been stretched.
Annually, if you will.
Annually.
Annually. Yeah.
Once a year.
Yeah. Thomas,
Angular stretch.
say the rest of your honorable mentions.
Yeah, so I don't think we shouted it out. This is a Canadian classic, but a maple iced donut, I think, can really hit.
Amazing. That was on my list. Yeah.
And there's a maple Boston cream with the custard that's also can be quite good.
Mm.
I do like that old fashioned glaze. I like the beignet. I know I mentioned that. And then the last one I'll say, go to a little fall activity. Get yourself an apple cider donut. That's a nice little donut itself with some cinnamon sugar on there. That's a sexy little donut.
Is that like what makes it an apple cider donut?
I think it's sort of in the dough. There's some of that appley flavor mixed in, maybe some blended up apple in the dough, and then it's got that cinnamon sugar on the outside. It's very nice.
Interesting. So it's sort of like an apple fritter, but
yeah,
it's it's going to stand on its business and actually be a donut. For me, the variant I had on what Jesse had, I actually recently had this donut. I was in Toronto, and it was a hot honey donut. It was a hot honey cruller donut. It was so fucking good. It was like a spicy honey donut.
Sounds great.
I did not nominate it because I knew it did not like that. I doubt anyone's had it, but it was fantastic, super good. So do recommend that. I can't remember the name of the shop, but it was in Kensington Market, so that's something to know if you're in Toronto. And then also here's a little bit of a dark horse candidate I didn't get to mention: the toasted coconut donut.
Oh, I do like a coconut donut a lot.
Coconut donut. They make that. Yeah, exactly. There's a chocolate one, and then there's sort of the original one. But I'm a fan of the original. I just love the sweet coconut. I mean, a messy donut as well, a messy little brat, as it were.
It's having a brat summer.
It is having a brat summer. Yeah, it is having a brat summer. But toasted coconut donut. Don't sleep on the toasted coconut.
Okay. And that's all our honorable mentions here. I have a few. Most of them have been said. Here's some weird ones. A Chinese donut.
Like a mochi or no?
No, they're Chinese. Have you ever seen? I would not usually. I did not nominate it because they're not your traditional donuts, but they're like donut sticks.
Yeah,
will.
Yeah. They're kind of like
fried.
Almost savory, right?
Yes.
Like they're not very
much so. Yeah.
You know those cinnamon twists I didn't mention, but those are quite good too. Those little
donuts.
I don't think I've ever had a Chinese donut. That sounds good.
You would have it for like a breakfast, or you would even put it into like congee, like a soup kind of thing, and just throw it in there for a little crunch. It is good, but
soup
you
donut.
Don't really. Yeah, it is a soup donut. You don't want to have too much because it is a lot. Here's something that might anger some people, but it's honorable mention, so who cares?
I doubt it. We're pretty calm.
What about a beaver tail?
Oh yeah.
I think
would a beaver tail count as a donut?
It's fried dough, but not
it's
quite.
oval.
In my heart of hearts, I just don't think it's a donut.
I don't think so either, but I'm looking it up here, and some people are calling it donuts. So
I am so grateful to be on this show and to be around you guys and not like think about how we're just sort of arbitrarily drawing lines between what is and isn't a donut.
That's the show, baby.
I'm practicing gratitude right now. And I'm trying not to get upset when we get into this. Oh, a beaver tail couldn't be a donut. It's fried dough, but no, of course. Yeah,
we're a little bit more lax in the honorable mention section there, Kevin. So we like it loosey goosey. If I said beaver tails during the episode, I'm sure your pants would be off next. So
I'm loose as a goose right now. It's totally fine. I'm totally loose.
Here's some donuts that I looked up that are weird donuts. I ChatGPT'd this just to see if there's any donuts that we missed here. Some weird donuts include a pumpkin spice donut.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. That was big at Tim's for a while.
Decent. With the cream cheese icing, that can be pretty good.
Yeah, a matcha donut, which I've had before. Yeah, s'mores donut. We talked about that before. Bacon maple donut. That's not that weird. Sriracha donut. That's weird.
Oh yeah, that was unusual. There was the taco donut that I mentioned that was peculiar. It had like taco dip on the inside.
Yeah.
As well.
I would eat that.
Here's something that came up when I was looking up, doing a little bit of research, and thought was in the ballpark, though I would say is about in the ballpark is fritters, cinnamon roll. We didn't talk about a cinnamon roll.
I don't think it's in the ballpark at all, but I do like it.
I think maybe it's in like the parking lot, like being run over by a truck.
In a different parking lot.
Yeah, I'm backing up
right.
my ass over that thing.
I would
Wait,
never
what do you
say
guys
things
think of
like
the
that.
I love a
maple-
cinnamon bun,
What
not
the
even
absolute
close to
fuck
being a
is wrong
donut.
with you?
Yeah.
Fine.
So what do you guys think of the maple and bacon donut? That's kind of become a thing at a lot of fancy donut shops. Does anyone like that? I avoid it.
I've had it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of bacon on my
It's fine.
donut.
I like the sweet and savory thing, but it's
Yeah.
like a once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm craving, I do like the idea of it, but if I'm craving something like that, I'm rather more inclined to get like some donut with a pretzel on it, like a pretzel, little pretzel action going on in a donut is some
Okay.
like fun, crunchy, salty. Like I think bacon is fun, but it's like it's just it's like what are you doing here? You know, what
Yeah.
are we
Get
what
outta here.
is this? You know,
Bacon's a young man's game, you know?
Yeah.
Bacon
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
I look at bacon, I eat
I couldn't
bacon,
eat-
and it just
I could eat
hurts.
6 pieces of bacon in the morning, but I
Like-
can't eat 6 maple bacon donuts. I'll tell you
Am I
that.
supposed to like make a Chuck Norris joke after I eat this
Yeah.
bacon donut?
Exactly.
Like,
Narwhal.
We're
Ron
beyond that.
Swanson gonna
Yeah.
come by and
Oh yeah.
Oh my
right.
gosh. Well, hey everyone, we did it. We ranked donuts. We have a definitive list with a really good number 1, let me tell you. Really tasty. Gonna get one of those tomorrow, I swear. But before we go, I have to thank my guests, Jesse, Kevin, and Thomas, for being in the
Yay.
kitchen, on the show. Thank you for baking up some
I
good
hated
donuts. No, you love it.
hated this.
No, you loved it. You loved it here. And I'm going to see you again soon. But before you all go, I need to hear plugs. What do you got to plug? Anybody can go.
boys,
well,
have at her.
I'm gonna because I'm worried about what Kevin will say. So I'll plug the 2 podcasts that he and I do together, as well as Jesse. We've got Oops All Segments, which has a very similar energy to this episode. If you found this amusing, there's more of it on Oops All Segments with Kevin and I. We do random segments with very funny guests, including Jesse a few times. And there's also a great D&D podcast, What We Do in the Basement, which I was on for 70 episodes and is continuing without me. And it has an actual play D&D podcast. Kevin DMs it and edits it. It's very well produced and really fun.
Amazing. Amazing. What else we got, folks?
I'm just gonna plug Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well,
And
now that we've said
Winnipeg
that,
Improv.
it seems weird
I
for
guess.
me to be just like upset, right? Like now I can't kind of double down on my sort of bit of being mad because you did something that's like important.
This is the first thing that's been mentioned that you should
Yeah.
be mad about.
You're awfully chill.
Yeah. You're,
How do I make my way out of this one?
you'll find a way. You'll find a way.
Yes. I mean, I think the solution to everything can be found in.
Yeah.
He stuck the landing before. I believe in him.
Yeah. Just hold on. Just give me a second here. Hold on. Let me
While
think about it
Kevin's
for a second.
stalling, I'm going to shout out my favorite donut, which is from Dip and Sip Donuts in Chicago. It's called Elvis's Last Donut. It's got peanut butter drizzle, Nutella drizzle, homemade banana cream, and tricolored pearls. It's maybe the best donut I've ever eaten. Very good. And yeah, Free Palestine.
Hell yeah.
Great.
I want to just say this has been an episode of 12 Hangry Men.
Nice.
That's freaking good. You should have saved that for the close. Damn it, Jesse.
I thought that was.
I don't think I can.
Well, I mean, Kevin has to plug
Um,
something still.
I don't think I can do comedy anymore, you guys.
Right?
Well,
follow Club Soda Improv. I mean, Thomas has plugged our other podcasts, so I won't do that. And sincerely, this was a lot of fun. Tony, you should come on our show.
I
Come on
will.
a Pulse segment sometime.
Yeah.
I would love to.
It'll be a blast. But yeah, that's it. And sincerely, if you were hurt or offended by anything I said today, I'm super sorry. I was actually just aiming all my eyesight exclusively at these 3 cowards, these 3 sort of Jezebels, these 3 sort of bitch-made motherfuckers. But unfortunately, I couldn't do anything to stop them in their reign of terror. And much like that, Free Palestine.
Yeah.
This is how
amazing.
Kevin
These-
is so bad at podcasts, he didn't even plug his dessert-based restaurant that he runs. This is how bad he is at business and podcasts. He didn't even think for 1 second to talk about Dreamland
Go
Diner.
to Dreamland Diner in Winnipeg. We make milkshakes and shit. They're fire as hell. Go to St. James Burger. It's the best fries and the best burgers in the city. If you think otherwise, go fuck yourself. You're a bitch. That's my life.
Jesus Christ.
That is the best plug for business I've heard on this podcast. All right,
Anyways.
let's wrap things up. For myself, you can find the rest of the shows in the Pod Cavern at www.podcavern.com. Check out all the shows in the Pod Cavern. Like, subscribe, review, rate, share it around with all your friends. And I think that's it. I'm looking at this one last weird donut here, and it says goat cheese and fig. What do you think about that?
Actually sounds amazing. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Try
Speaking of Newton, looks like we're back.
All right. Well,
Let's go up for that.
He would. He'd shoot right up.
Oh my God. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you
Honey
next
Cruller
time.
should have been number 1.
No.